Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another race night with the Xtreme Motorsports Truck Series. The Dre Broadcasting Network welcomes you aboard as it brings you live action from Kansas Speedway. The Xtreme Motorsports 99 brings you the Toyota Tundra 250 for round 3 of the Camping World Truck Series. I am your commentator, Sean Zulu, and I am joined by my good friend and producer, Dave Everly. How are you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Sean?
I am doing good too, thank you. Just pumped about tonight's race here at Kansas after having an amazing race last night at the same exact track with the K&N cars. But Dave, start off by telling us a little bit about tonight's race, please.
Well, tonight we are at Kansas Speedway, a 1.5 mile. Looking at the temperature, it's 78 degrees. Track temperature, 78 degrees, partly cloudy, with the wind north at 2 miles an hour.
And the drivers do have a 65% fuel limit. That is 65%, so they do have to pit at least twice in order to be able to make it all the way for 144 laps. That is 144 laps. A long way to go. A lot can happen, and a lot of excitement to come from these drivers. But just a little bit of a recap from last week's race. We had 6 of Tom Whitmore bring it home, 29 Matt Wells in back second, 14 Vern Bradley third, 50 of Scott Mitten fourth, 05 Tommy Amasi fifth, 65 Marty Ray sixth, Brian Westerman seventh, Brent Kuel 8th, 64 Michael Knight 9th, and Ken Ladd did round up the top 10. And going over our current season standings, we do have Vern Bradley on the still in the lead in points. 75 Rusty Farrow went from 3rd to 2nd this week. Tom Wetmore is near the top 10 in third in points. 64 Michael Knight from 9th to 4th. Brian Wasserman and Gary Wubot both tied for 5th place. We got Brent Kuel near the top 10 in 6th. Jacob Bell tied for 7th with 81 of Travis Pryor. We have the 12 of Damian Crump went from 5th place to 8th. Had a rough race last week. 50 of Scott Mitten and Curtis Vollmer both tied for 9th place. And Chris Thorman rounding up the top 10 and is also new to the top 10. Well, as we speak, these guys are currently gridding up, so we are going to give them a few seconds before we go down that list. On the pole, ladies and gentlemen, is last week's winner and last season's champion, this season's defending champion, the 6 of Tom Wetmore. And right beside him is a 77 of Jacob Bell, transferred from the Pro Can-Am Series, or advanced from the 86 of Adam Eisenhower, 3rd. 57 Hunter McDaniel, 4th. The 29 of Matthew Wells in Black Mr. Super Speedway himself, 5th. The 33 of Vernon Margheim, 6th. The 4 of Brent Kuhl, last week's post-sitter, 7th. 48 of Curtis Vollmer, 8th. The 97 of Garrett Robinson, 9th. That 39 of Zachary Kraser will round up the top 10. And the 50 of Scott Mitten, 11th. 05 Tommy Amasi, 12th. The 25 of Roger Buff, 13th. 64 of Michael Knight, 14th. We have the 14 of Vern Bradley, 15th. 51 of Johnny Dressler. I haven't seen him this season yet, but he was a driver from last season. But he is here tonight, starting 16th. 58 of James Peterson, 17th. 65 of Marty Ray, 18th. 11 of Ken Ladd, who had a rough race last night, here in the 19th place spot tonight. The 43 of Tyler Davis starting 20th, and that will round up our top 20. And we have the 19 of Andy Starcher, 21st. The 12 of Damian Crump, 22nd. The 7 of Brian Wasserman, 23rd. The 75 of Rusty Farrow, 24th. 71 of Chris Thorman, 25th. And last on the list here is the 5 of Gary Wubot, rounding up or bringing out the rear of the field. I would definitely do look forward to seeing him up front, because he is one of those drivers who starts in the back and finds his way up to the front before it ends. But as we speak right now, the drivers are now rolling here. We being led by the 6 of Tom Wetmore, pace speed 65 miles an hour. These guys getting ready for the first green flag run coming up.
Well, Sean, as we saw last night in the K&N Series, this track turned out to be a one-groove track. So the question is, are we going to see some passing on the bottom, or is this going to turn out to be a top-lane track just like we saw last night?
Oh, absolutely. That is something to look forward to here. We're going to see how it plays out here in the first 2 to 3 laps, or 3 to 4 laps. Just like we had talked about last night with Joe White and also Dave in the booth here. And here as we speak, we're exiting turn 4. The pace is going to be ducking off the racing surface. It leaves the racing surface. And the 6 of Wetmore still holding pace speed Everybody getting bunched up nice and tight. Oh, the green flag flies. They all put it down. 77 of Jacob Bell backs off. The 6 of Wimmer puts it down to fold the 86 of Adam Eisenhower, but taking the 77 of Jacob Bell already. 57 of Hunter McDonough trying to push the 77 of Jacob Bell, who tries to go low, but he has a 29 of Welsenbach on his inside. He has no choice but to stay high. The 4 of Brent Kuel and the 97 of Gary Robinson on the inside line here. Single foul behind 29 of Matthew Welsenbach as we are green for the first time this time by for the Toyota Tundra 250.
Yeah, out front we still have the 6 of Tom Wetmore, our pole sitter, but we got Adam Eisenhower and Matthew Welsenbach back here in third, but looks like from third place back, we got some double foul. As we saw last night, we saw battles all over the field there. As the 4, Brent Kuhl looks to the inside there of the 77 of Jacob Bell.
And Jacob Bell gets a slingshot off turn 2 there and is going to propel a lead a slight nose entering turn 3, but this 4 of Brent comes back with a bigger run on the exit of 4. Let's see who has it. The 4 of Brent Kuhl might fall short enough. He goes down the apron, the shortest way around the racing surface, and he does successfully clear the 77 of Jacob Bell, who has one driver charging on his rear end, 97 of Gary Robinson.
Well, as we see running different lines here tonight, as we saw last night, we saw everybody running the high line, but right here on lap 3, we got these guys coming down to the white line here. We do have some choosing that outside line here, as we are just now getting ready to complete lap number 4, or lap number 3.
And Dave, we have the 33 of Vernon Markheim trying to hold up 39 of Zachary Crazy. They do go back, single foul. 33 Vernon Markheim was able to close the door on the 39 of Zachary Crazer, who did back off to let him maintain it. And up in front of them, we have some more battles up front. It's between the 57 of Hunter McDonough and the 97 of Garrett Robinson. Also the 77 of Jacob Bell, who's falling short. They're going to take him 3 wide here. So 97 of Garrett Robinson does back off. Going to cross him over. Nope, he's going to try and bump drop him on the front stretch to push him past 57 of Hunter McDonough, but having no luck so far, because Hunter did go down on the apron there, shortest way around the track once again, so he was able to clear the 97 of Robinson, and 48 of Curtis Bummer Dave in the mix.
Yeah, most definitely here, but we saw the 97 of Garrett Robinson have a good run into K&N. He's currently just riding back here in 8th position. We have 144 laps here, so we still have 139 laps remaining. As it looks like we are starting to, well, almost get a battle here for second place. That is going to be between Matthew Walzenbach and Adam Eisenhower, as they are side by side coming out of turn number 2.
And Adam Eisenhower does have the preferred race groove. Then the exit of the turn, he had the outside line. He did clear the 29 of Welsenbach entering turn 3, and Welsenbach has no choice but to fall back in line. Look at that, Dave. They're both catching the lead of the 6 of Tom Wetmore. So Tom Wetmore most likely is going to be feeling the pressure here short.
Yeah, and right behind them, once again, we got Brent Kuhl in the 57 of Hunter McDaniel battling for that number 4 position. As it looks like Hunter McDaniel is going to proceed, but here comes the 48 of Curtis Balmer to the inside of Brent Kuhl through turns 3 and 4.
And Matthew Welsenbach in the 29 clears the 86 of Adam Eisenhower, and that bumps him up into second place and bumps Adam Eisenhower down to third place and further back in the pack. Folks in the 05 of Tommy Amasi here, riding single file behind the 25 of Roger Buff. Haven't seen Roger Buff in a while. And up in front of Roger Buff, we have a battle between the 39 of Zachary Crazer and the 53 of 33 of Vernon Markheim, but they do go back single file.
Yeah, these guys are just kind of getting single file here, getting a feel for the track, kind of laying back, not pushing too hard here early. Also, just want to take this time to thank all the fans out there watching. We've got IU Dave out in the chat, Eli Green, Carol's out there, and today's her birthday. So James Peter, that's the wife of the 58 of James Peterson. So happy birthday, Carol. Nancy Wetmore's out there cheering on Tom Wetmore. So we have got some fans out here watching. So chat it up in the chat, and we'll try to get to you as soon as we can.
And there we have the 43 of Tyler Davis making some moves further back in the pack. He's pump dropping the crap out of the 11 of Ken Ladd here on the straightaway entering turn 1. They all go high in the inside. We only have a few. We have a select few drivers on the inside, but everybody just seems to be going all the way high here on lap number 10. And up in front of that, we have 58 of James Peterson. Man, Peterson has been known to make some moves earlier in the race. He's done that every single race, and so far doing the exact same thing. Overtaking the 19 of Andy Starcher on the inside line, bomb drafting the 25 of Roger Buff. That's on the 25 of Roger Buff. Going to try to see who that truck is. That's the 05 of Tommy Amasi on the inside line in his path. Also 05 of Tommy Amasi overtaking 39 of Zachary Crazer for the 12th place spot. And Dale's further back in the pack in the 26th place spot is the 14 of Vern Bradley, our current points leader. He's way off the pace here, about 21 seconds away from the leader. If he doesn't pick up the pace, he just might be lapped in a hurry, Dave, because this track is a very, very fast track. These guys running about 30-second lap times.
Yeah, most definitely here as we go back up front. It looks like the 6 of Tom Wetmore. Oh, contact between Matthew Walzenbeck and Curtis Balmer. But they keep it green as looked like Walzenbeck here got into the outside wall. But they keep it green. But I tell you what, them battling for that number 2 position is allowing up. The caution is out.
We had an incident on the exit of turn 4. They're going to see who might have been involved. Oh, 05 Tommy Amasi got a piece of the action there, unfortunately. Let's see who else. Let's focus on the 05 of Tommy Amasi on replay.
Well, as we pull up the Dre broadcast and replay here, coming out, looks like a 2 wide. Some contact between him and the 11 of Ken Ladd, but everybody else is going to be able to get around it. Looks like he just spun around a little bit. Not too much damage, but just a little enough damage there.
Yeah, that left front of the machine of the 05 of Tommy Amasi not looking too pretty. But if he goes down here and gets that damage fixed, he should be able to keep up the pace without having to use his only backup car or backup truck. Going back up front, here we are being led by the 6 of Tom Wetmore. We have Hunter McDaniel in 2nd place, Curtis Vollmer 3rd, Matthew Eisenbach 4th, and the 86 of Adam Eisenhower in the 5th place spot. And Dave, these guys entering turns 3 and 4. This is only lap number 14. So it makes me wonder if we're going to have drivers pitting in. Because Dave, last night in the K&N cars, we did see some drivers stay out to 42 laps on their tires. And that 6 of Wetmore does go down pit road, leads everybody down to pit road. Do we have anybody staying out? It does not look like it. Everybody down pit road and nobody staying out. Usually we have at least one driver, Dave, staying out to try and lead one lap for the bonus point.
Yeah, it looks like they're all going to come down and get those fresh stickers here. Get in and get 4 tires and a full tank of fuel in their trucks and get back out on the track. So we have everybody down on pit road as we speak.
And right now I'm monitoring the 05 of Tommy Amasi to see if he's going to get the damage fixed or get his brand new backup truck. But it looks like he's choosing to get that damage fixed. Very, very good move on his part. Looks like his pit crew working it quite a bit and he's off pit road as we speak. He's rolling off. By the looks of it, he's behind 75 of Rusty Farrow, but going back up front, the 6 of Wetmore was Wetmore was beat off pit road by the 29 of Weisenbach and 57 of Hunter McDaniel. And Tom Wetmore's pit stop compared to that of the new leader, 57, Hunter McDaniel. Tom Wetmore had a 14.1 second pit stop, while Hunter had a 12.8 second pit stop. I'm not sure, Dave, if that difference right there means one driver took 2 tires and other took 4, but that was almost 2 seconds, but less than 2 seconds. So I kind of doubt that was the case.
Yeah, most definitely just looks like a little issue there on pit road for the 6 of Tom Wetmore. But he is going to be starting on the inside there behind the 57 of Hunter McDaniel. Is Matthew Weiselbach and Curtis Balmer will be starting on the outside.
Yep, the post sitter, the 6 of Wetmore behind Hunter McDaniel and the 48 of Curtis Balmer, who was Tom Wetmore's biggest rival for the longest time last week at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Is side by side with him on this restart. And once again, 6 of Wetmore did win last week's race, and Matthew Wilsonbach came out second. And also Matthew Wilsonbach qualified in second place spot last week, but tonight he qualifies in the 5th place position. But he's going to be challenging Hunter McDaniel on this restart. These guys getting bunched up nice and tight. We do have one driver new to the top 5, and that's going to be Curtis Vollmer. And we have a driver new to the top 10, and that will be the 25 of Roger Buff as we exit turn 4, going green. The pace car does dip off. These guys still holding pace. B57 on Hunter McDaniel. Oh, the green flag flies. They all put it down to 6 of 1. We're giving the bump before he could hit the gas pedal. 29 Matt Wilsonbach caught sleeping on that. We'll stack up the field right behind him, but nope. 48 of Verma to the rescue, pushing him for dear life to increase that speed before gear 4, 4th gear. And that 4 of Brand go on the inside line, trying to freight train the outside of 48 of Vollmer and the 29 of Wilsonbach. And up ahead, we do have the 86 of Adam Eisenhower trying to catch the 6 of Tom Whitmore, who in turn is trying to catch the leader, 57 of Hunter McDaniel.
Yeah, it looks like those front 2 are starting to pull away here as Adam Eisenhower's leading right there in 3rd place with Brent Cool behind him. Matthew Wilsonbach sitting back there on the outside while he has got the 97 of Garrett Robinson on his inside trying to take away that number 5 spot. As it looks like right now Wilsonbach is going to keep that 5th spot, but he does have a challenge by the 97 of Garrett Robinson.
And Dave, for the back in the pack, we do have the 33 of Bernard Markheim and 25 of Roger Buff going at it for the 9th place spot. And Markheim right now doing an amazing job holding him off, but 25 of Roger Buff very strong off the exit of those turns, is getting those slingshots. And entering turn 1 here, he does drift high and maintains all his momentum. And on the exit of turn 2, he just might have an even bigger slingshot. And the 50 of Scott Mitchell pushing for dear life on 33 of Vernon Markheim. At the same time, 51 of Johnny Dressler. Johnny Dressler here trying to be the top 10 here, pushing on the 25, or at least trying to help 25 of Roger Buff on the outside line. But he does have somebody behind him as well. It's a 12 of Damian Crump. Oh, 25 Roger Buff and the 33 of Vernon Markheim almost made contact. They're entering turns 1 and 2, but they were able to stay off each other. It's going to be a cluster here on the inside. The 50 of Mitten and the 33 of Markheim are stalling as the outside does seem to be getting around them slowly but surely. And behind, oh, looks like 25 of Roger Buff. They're still staying high, being pushed to the 12 of Damian Crump, trying to overtake 51 of Johnny Dressler. That 43 of Tyler Davis as well, going to be the 3rd truck in line behind the 12 of Crump, and Crump does dump it outside and goes down low to help the 51 of Dressler, but then goes back high to continue assisting the 51, that's 25 of Roger Buff. And for the back in the pack, Vern Bradley trying to make some moves towards the front from 15th place. He's now currently showing in the 17th place spot behind the 50 of Scott Mitchell on the inside, and side by side of the 39 of Zach Fraser. Look at that, Dave. That 19 of Andy Starcher here in the mix behind the 39 of Zachary Fraser. Very, very good looking paint scheme. Side by side the 58 of James Peterson. And also further back in the pack, we do have a lot of single file going on. 71 of Chris Thorman here off the pace, but pretty much just staying away from everybody else as a way to most likely avoid trouble. And also behind him, he does have 64 Michael Knight, the 5 Gary Woolbot, the 05 of Tommy Amasi, and also one driver just exiting pit road. It's the 11 of Ken Ladd. Not sure why Ken Ladd was on pit road, Dave, but he's now exiting pit road. He went down for a green flag pit stop. He was on pit road for about 15 seconds and is now being shown 1 lap down, so he most likely is going to be pushing that hammer down the floor to try and get his lap back.
Yeah, he's got to watch. He's already 1 lap down, but the race leaders are right behind him. The 57 of Hunter McDaniel there being followed by the 6 of Tom Wetmore. Tom Wetmore is all over that back bumper. He is not letting Hunter McDaniel go, and he is making Hunter McDaniel fight to keep him behind him. And we have a battle for the 4th place spot between the 4 of Brand Cooler and the 48
of Curtis Vollmer. Curtis Vollmer does go way high behind the 86 of Adam Eisenhower. He's going to make the pass successful in the exit of turn 2 against the 4 of Brian Kuo. And that 48 of Vollmer right now, most likely trying to set up the 86 of Adam Eisenhower. Looks to his inside. He enters turns 3 and 4, but he backs off, and that allows the 4 of Brent to come back with an even bigger run on the 48 of Vollmer here. But he will decide to just pretty much ride. He had nowhere to go. And Dave, let's actually ride on the in-car with the 6 of Tom Wetmore and watch him try and set up the 57 of Hunter McDaniel if he does so. As right now, these two drivers, Wetmore and McDaniel, catching once again the 11 of Ken Ladd. Ken Ladd had a rough night last night in the K&N cars, K&N Pro Series. So he's trying to redeem himself, trying to have a better race tonight. And he did in last night's race, but he does stay high to let these guys by, and they will go high here around him. The 6 of Wetmore still bomb drafting the 57 of Hunter McDaniel. At this point, Dave, looks like Wetmore and Hunter McDaniel are just pretty much working together, trying to separate themselves from everybody else behind them, and it is working.
Oh yeah, they are well over 2 seconds in front of the 86 of Adam Eisenhower, who's back in 3rd position. Actually being challenged now by the 48 of Curtis Vollmer, trying to overtake that number 3 spot.
At the same time, Tom Wetmore making moves against Hunter McDaniel for the race lead, but then falls back in line here before turn 3 on the back straightaway. And further back in the pack, we do have the caution flies on lap number 28. I'm going to see who might have been involved.
It looks like that it's going to be the 51 of Johnny Dressler. As we pull up our Dre broadcasting replay, we are going to focus on the 51 of Johnny Dressler to see if we can see exactly what happened. Oh, contact on the wall, and looks like he also might have made contact with another driver. I can't really see who it was here, but looks like he made contact with the wall, and the 97 of Garrett Robinson. It got him spun around. He's got a little bit of left side damage, but he's able to keep it off the wall.
And going back up front here, we are still being led by the 57 of Hunter McDaniel, 6 of Wetmore in 2nd, 86 Adam Eisenhower 3rd, the 4 of Brian Kuo 4th, and the 48 of Curtis Vollmer in the 5th place spot. And these guys now have 15 laps on their tires, and the 57 Hunter McDaniel points his nose towards pit road. And by the looks of it, everybody will follow. Let's see if some drivers decide to stay out. And Dave, one driver is going to be very, very happy to see this caution. It's the 11 of Ken Ladd.
Yeah, he's going to get the lucky dog. That is going to put him back to 1 lap down here. As I am taking a look, it looks like the 05 of Tommy Amassi is going to stay out to lead a lap.
Yep, 05 stays out behind that pace car, but it's not showing him in the lead just yet. So he will have to stay out on one more lap for it to register him as the new race leader. And with that said, he's going to suffer a penalty of going further back in the pack, because if he goes down pit road to pit in to take 4 tires and a full tank of gas like everybody else did, but if he does stay out, he will have 15 laps more, actually 14 laps more on tires compared to everybody else. And we'll see exactly how that plays out. By leaving pit road here, looks like 6 of Wetmore. Dave was able to overtake the 57 Hunter McDaniel, and take what was rightfully his. The last caution, because last caution, Hunter McDaniel did overtake Wetmore on pit road, but now Wetmore has now repaid the favor.
Yeah, Tom Wetmore had a good pit stop there. Is taking a look at the times. He was just right about 2/10 faster than Hunter McDaniel, but he is going to take the race lead with Tommy Amassi now making his way down on the pit road. So we will have Tom Wetmore, Hunter McDaniel, Adam Eisenhower, Jacob Bell, and Curtis Vollmer in your top 5.
And Ken Ladd back on the lead lap here on lap number 29, actually number 31. I thought he got the wave around the pace car. It's not showing him back on the lead lap just yet. Yep, he's now going around the pace car to get that lap back. I thought he got his lap back, so I guess he did go 2 laps. Oh yeah, he did go 2 laps down, Dave, because the leaders did end up catching him when he was a lap down. That was my mistake right there, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologize, but he will now be back on the lead lap by the looks of it. So it was definitely some great driving on his part.
Well, Sean, going back to our fans watching at home, Looks like we are also now joined by Colton Lane, tuning in for some racing on a Tuesday, checking out the Xtreme Motorsports 99.com Campy World Truck Series here at Kansas Speedway.
Yep, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us for the Toyota Tundra 250 here for round 3 of the Xtreme Motorsports 99 Camping World Truck Series, as the drivers all try to spank the 6 of Tom Wetmore and make sure he doesn't have a win or doesn't have a the championship again this season like he did last season. As we speak here, we do have some drivers moving up into the top 5. Dave, the 77 of Jacob Bell, back in the top 5 because he qualified in second place spot, but is now back up here in the 4th place spot.
Also, Vern Markheim rounding out the 6th position. Roger Buff in 7th. Garrett Robinson 8th. Tyler Davis looks like he's going to be 9th. And Vern Bradley has moved all the way up into the 10th position.
And looking at Tyler Davis' stats right now, he's come all the way from the 20th place position to the 8th place spot here on lap number 32, gaining 12 spots this far, being the heaviest mover so far. But it's not over just yet. We will see a lot of drivers going from the back to the front in a hurry, like the 5 of Gary Woobot here, making some headway. He's starting in the last place spot and currently in the 19th place position and going nowhere but the front. As right now, we are now back 1 to green, being led by the 57 of Hunter McDaniel. Oh, actually, 6 of Tom Wetmore. But 6 of Wetmore starts on the outside and gives the 57 of Hunter McDaniel on the inside line. And 86 of Adam Eisenhower is going to be behind Hunter McDaniel on the inside. And Jacob Bell on the outside behind the 6 of Tom Wetmore, the race leader. Well, Dave, do the honors.
Well, as they come out of turn number 4 here, the pace car now dips off. We are getting ready to go back green flag racing here as the 6 of Tom Wetmore wastes no time. Gets a good run. The 77 of Jacob Bell did not see it coming as the 57 of Hunter McDaniel is keeping it. But I tell you what, here comes the 86 of Eisenhower on the inside of Bell. Looking to take away, almost 3 wide with the 48 of Curtis Palmer.
Yeah, it looks like the 86 of Adam Eisenhower did miss a shift there, entering, I guess, a 3rd or 4th gear, which did slow him down quite a bit. But right now he's trying to hold off 77 of Jacob Bell, and Jacob Bell putting in a hard fight, trying to get in front of him, but he does move up the track, and Adam Eisenhower is going to go down the apron, the shortest way around the track, but he's still going to challenge him side by side before turning. The caution will fly here again on lap 34. We're going to back up and see who might have been involved.
Looks like it's going to be the 12 of Damian Crump. He is going to be involved here as we pull up the Dre broadcast and replay here. We are going to rewind it here, see if we can see exactly what happened. Looks like the 12 of Crump is going to try to follow the 4 of Brent Cole with the 64 of Michael Knight. Some contact made, and he goes hard into that wall. So he is going to have some heavy damage on that number 12 machine as he does get it going back under his own power.
Yeah, that was very, very unfortunate for both drivers involved, namely 64 Michael Knight, once again the 12 of Damian Crump here. But looks like for the most part, everybody was able to avoid getting involved in that, and they didn't make it bigger than it was going to be. But going back up front, the 6 of Wetmore is still in the lead. The 57 of Hunter McDaniel 2nd, 86 of Adam Eisenhower 3rd, 77 of Jacob Bell 4th, and the 48 of Curtis Palmer in the 5th place spot. And Dave, at this point, these drivers all have 6 laps on their tires, so something tells me they'll most likely stay out.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to come down on the pit road. They're going to play the track position game here, Sean.
And there we do. We're going to try and find some more heavy movers here. We do have a 6'5 Marty Ray from 18th place to 12th place as we speak. James Peterson from 17th place to 13th place. Andy Starcher in the 19th place, number 19 truck from 21st place to 15th as we speak. And this does give us some time for a race interview. So let's focus on 33 of Vernon Markheim. Oh, unfortunately, we're not able to get communications with 33 of Vernon Markheim, but instead we will interview the 25 of Roger Buff. We do have the 25 of Roger Buff up here. That's good up there, Roger.
What's going on, boss man?
Good, how are you, buddy?
Chilling, man. Picking them off one by one.
Oh, indeed you are. With that bright green track looking very good. With a very, very good looking paint scheme out there. You want to tell us a little bit about the paint scheme?
The paint scheme is made for my buddy that passed away a couple months ago. I used to play Xbox with him, and he was a real good guy with setups and stuff, and real good down to earth fellow. And I've known him for about 6 years. He passed away this year, so.
Oh, very, very sorry to hear about that. That's TC Obscure. Very, very good thing you're doing out there, Roger. Roger, besides that, how's the race going so far, man? We've seen you picking these guys off one by one, having a blast by the looks of it.
Oh, 10-4. The race is pretty smooth. I just hadn't got up by the leaders to see what they're doing out there to be so quick, but I don't know if it's the fresh air or not. But we're just gonna have to see what happens here. But the race is pretty smooth. Got a pretty good green flag run there, man. I hope you're having fun up there in the booth.
Oh man, we are having a lot of fun, and Roger, your pace is very, very high. So with that said, you have what it takes to spank these guys, and hopefully, Roger, this season you make sure the 6 of Wetmore doesn't take it away again.
10-4, boss man.
Well, buddy, you are now back one to green. So good luck to you, buddy. Head in the right direction and make us proud.
10-4.
And that was the 25 of Roger Buff here in the 7th place spot as we are now back one to green. Entering turns 3 and 4, going green for the 3rd time, this time by 6 of Wetmore. Exiting turn 4 here in the lead, and the pace here does dip off. The 6 of Wetmore still holding pace speed. He puts it down to the floor. He does catch them off guard. The 86 of Adamizer on the inside of the 57 of Hunter McDaniel for the 2nd place spot here before turn 1. And that's 77 of Jacob Bell behind there, trying to get in line on the bottom lane, but having no luck so far. Has the 33 of Vernon Markham on his inside, battling for the 7th place spot, and he will lose that spot here before turn 2. At the same time, Vernon Markham now trying to charge against the 57 of Hunter McDaniel for the 4th place spot. And that 48 of Curtis Vormer challenging the 86 of Adam Eisenhower, entering turn 3, pulling in the 57 of Hunter McDaniel.
Yeah, these guys are battling it out here as we see the 48 of Curtis Vormer go from the high line all the way down to the bottom, almost cutting off the nose the 57 of Hunter McDaniel. Hunter McDaniel electing to stay down on that inside there. Got some help from the 86 of Adam Eisenhower as he is side by side with the 48 of Curtis Vormer.
And for the back in the pack, Dave, the 4 of Brand Cool challenging the 51 of Johnny Dresser, side by side. Oh, they must make contact there. Entering turn 3, but 4 of Brent backs off, and that lets 51 of Dresser go by him there. And he will lose all his momentum, all his speed, and will lose that spot as well. And 75 of Rassi Ferro will try and take advantage of that on the outside there and makes the pass successfully here in between turn 1 and 2. And on the exit of turn 2, he finally clears him. And behind Brent is the 39 of Zachary Crazy, and Zach right now just pretty much buying his time, taking it easy, getting used to the track, getting used to the way the truck is handling on this track, on this racing surface. But they do have a long way to go. This is only lap number 40, and that does give us 104 laps remaining. And going back up front, there's a battle for 2nd place spot between 57 Hunter McDonough and the 48 of Curtis Vormer. Hunter McDonough on the inside, 48 Vormer on the outside, and they go side by side on the exit of turn 2. 48 of Vormer slingshot off turn 2 and will lead a slight nose entering turn 3 against 57 of Hunter McDaniel. And Dave, the leaders are catching up to a slower track. Looks like it's going to be the 05 of Tommy Amasi. Tommy Amasi did have some damage early on there. He was involved in one of the incidents that brought out the caution. And by the looks of it, he did end up getting his backup truck. So it looks like the damage was affecting him negatively after all. But because of that, he did go one lap down. He's trying his best to stay ahead of those leaders. And those leaders are coming at him at a very, very fast rate here. So he's going to have to find 5th gear here in no time. At the same time, he is battling the 12 of Damian Crum for the Lucky Dog. Oh, we have some contact up front 25. Roger Buff involved, and that's going to put one driver in the wall there. Caution is not going to fly. Going to see who was involved. Who else was involved? The 43 of Tyler Davis with some heavy smoke there from the rear end. If we can, let's catch that on replay and focus on the 43 of Tyler Davis.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to catch that, but we are now under caution. As we pull up the trade broadcasting replay here, I am going to see what brought out the caution. Looks like it's going to be the 51 of Johnny Dressler here. As I am going to rewind it. It has a little contact with the 58, gets a little loose, tries to save it, but unfortunately he is going to spin all the way around. That is also going to take Roger Buff is going to be involved in that as well.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate indeed for everybody involved in this, or in that caution, but that did give a break to the 12 of Cramp and the 05 of Tommy and Masi, who were vulnerable to almost going one more lap down, to be 2 laps down, but they did catch a break because of that. And ladies and gentlemen, this is now lap number 44. We have 101 laps remaining. So we'll go ahead and take our first commercial break of tonight's race so you guys can get your first round of popcorn and refreshments. We'll be right back, so stay tuned.
You wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Toyota Tundra 250, part of round 3 of the Xtreme Motorsports Camping World Truck Series here, the Xtreme Motorsports 99. But going back to the race here, we are being led by 48 of Curtis Vollmer, 57 Hunter McDaniel, James Peterson being shown in 3rd place, but he is on pit road, and everybody did pit in while James Peterson decided to stay out to lead one lap. After leading that one lap, he did go down pit road. And during those pit stops, we had 6 of Wetmore in the lead while entering pit road, but he was beaten off pit road by the 48 of Curtis Vollmer and 57 of Hunter McDaniel, so that does bump him down to 3rd place. And we do have one driver behind the pace. It's going to be the 05 of Tommy Amasi, trying to get one lap back, or trying to get his lap back, so he can be back on the lead lap with everybody else. And looking at 05 of Tommy Amasi right now, he does have 7 laps on his tires. That's not bad at all. So it won't affect him too much once he gets around the pace car there and has no choice but to stay out, because he won't be able to pit in. He won't have enough time to pit in once he gets that wave around. So he shouldn't affect him too much. It's going to be a 5-lap difference between him and the race leaders. And so far here, we do have some more drivers moving into the top 10. We have the 50 of Scott Mitten from the 11th place spot, currently being shown 8th. We have the 97 of Gary Robinson, 9th place to 5th place here, back in top 5. Back in the top 5. And Curtis Vollmer from 8th place in the lead at the moment as we speak. And Marty Ray from 18th place to 10th place. Marty Ray hasn't spoken much of him tonight, but he has been keeping a low profile. He does not get the job done. So from now on, we'll be keeping a very, very close eye on him and everybody around him, just to see exactly how this plays out. And we are now back 1 to green.
Well, as the pace car now brings him down the backstretch, as you said, we are being led by the 48 of Curtis Vollmer. He is going to take the inside. Hunter McDaniel on the outside as they come here into turn number 3. Also looking checking in on our fans at home. We have some new viewers tuning in. We got Brian Likens in there with us. Tyler Gillen is also there, and Jason Eisenhower. Definitely rooting on Adam, Marty, and Roger. As the pace car brings them out of turn number 4, it dips down into pit road. Looks like Vollmer is going to keep him at pace speed. Nope, he is going to get hard on that throttle. The 57 of Hunter McDaniel gets caught sleeping as he gets passed by the 6 of Tom Wetmore.
And Adam Eisenhower right in front hold of 97 of Garrett Robinson, but Garrett Robinson has his inside and will clear him on the exit of turn 2 at the same time, pulling the 33 of Vern Margheim in there on the inside line. But the 97 of Garrett Robinson makes the pass against 86 of Adam Eisenhower and leaves the task to the 33 of Vernon Margheim entering turn 3. They stay side by side. Adam putting on a hard fight, trying not to lose it too easily there. He tries to do the crossover move against 33 of Vernon Margheim. He clears him, but Vern does shut that door in the front stretch, on the front stretch here, entering turn 1. And for the back in the pack, Marty Ray trying to battle the 4 of Branco. It's quite a battle here for the 9th place spot. 6'5" Marty Ray, very great looking paint scheme there with the NASA truck. But the 4 of Branco putting on a hard fight, trying not to lose it easily. But Branco there did end up losing some momentum. He drifted way too high, but then has a slingshot off turn 4. And Marty Ray goes down to the bottom lane, goes on the apron, and does clean successfully before turn 1. And Marty Ray right now picks off 1, and he does have 8 more positions to gain here. So he still has a long way to go, a lot of work to be done. And for the back in the pack, Dave 25, Roger Buff, who was involved in the incident that brought the caution there, is trying to make up as much time as he can, battling the 4 of Brent Cool as we speak.
Going back up front, it looks like the 6 of Tom Wetmore is going to get around the 48 of Curtis Vollmer, take over that race lead. As looks like these two are starting to check out a little bit with the 57 of Hunter McDaniel, but Garrett Robinson there in 4th position. Looks like Curtis Vollmer got into the wall, so he is losing some major speed here as everybody is getting around him here on the inside.
Man, that's very unfortunate for Curtis Vollmer. He did stay high and let everybody by, and no harm was done. But that right front of Curtis Vollmer not looking too pretty. Looks like his truck did end up pushing way too high on the exit of turn 2. He did try backing off, but it was way too late, and that wall just sucked him in gladly. And unfortunately, well, the wall was glad to suck him in. But unfortunately, that did cost him a lot of spots, a lot of positions, and right now he's being shown in the 11th place position. And for the back in the pack, James Peterson trying to hold off the 6'4" of Michael Knight at the center. Michael Knight trying to hold off 75 of Rusty Fair, who will go on his inside to try and make the pass while having 29 of Matthew Wassenbach right behind. And Matt Wassenbach moves 75. Rusty Farrow up the racing surface and raced Rusty Farrow behind the 6'4" of Michael Knight. And behind him is going to be the 14 of Vern Bradley, who was further back in the pack early on. Is currently in the 19th place spot. He does have some damage on the right side, just like the 48 of Curtis Vollmer. It's similar damage. So something tells me 14 of Vern Bradley did smack the wall as well. But right now, still countering that damage quite well with a drop of the 29 of Matthew Wassenbach and 75 of Rusty Farrow.
Going back up front, it looks like the 57 of Hunter McDaniel is all over that back bumper of the 6 of Tom Wetmore. As these two are checking out here, pulling a pretty good gap over the 97 of Garrett Robinson, who is just trying to keep him in sight. Also the 86 there of Adam Eisenhower in the 4th position.
We have some more battles going on. Matthew Wassenbach is on the move right now, trying to work his way towards the front, trying to battle 6'4" of Michael Knight. He clears him successfully here. Entering turn 1 at 6'4", Michael Knight goes high to 29 of Wassenbach on the inside line there. 6'4", Michael Knight to the big run on the 29 of Wassenbach. The slingshot off turn 2. And 75 Rusty Farrow thought of following the 6'4" of Michael Knight, but decides to just ride behind the 29 of Wassenbach. 6'4" Michael Knight makes the pass successful against 29 of Wassenbach on the exit of turn 4, but 29 Wassenbach crossover move on 6'4" of Knight. 75 Rusty Farrow made the pass also against 6'4" of Michael Knight, and Michael Knight drifts way high. That also allows the 39 of Zachary Krezer to make the pass. At the same time, the 14 of Vern Bradley trying to take advantage of it. So for Michael Knight, just lost 3 spots this lap, so he will back it up and try and do it all over again and gain back all those spots and hold up 14 of Vern Bradley before it's too late.
Yes, these guys are battling all over here. Going up front, looks like the 5th place position of 33 of Vern Margheim is making up a little ground there on the 86 of Adam Eisenhower, as these guys are struggling to keep up with the 97 of Garrett Robinson. Meanwhile, out front, the 6 of Tom Wetmore. Oh, Hunter McDaniel thinking about to the inside, but Tom Wetmore shuts the door and keeps him back in that 2nd place.
And everybody pretty much goes single file, but you have another battle between 25 of Roger Buff and the 4 of Brent Cool. These guys have been going at it for the past 4 to 5 laps now. And that 4 of Brent finally makes a pass against 25 of Roger Buff. And Roger Buff is going to try and set him up again on the exit of turn 4 to make the pass against him. 4 of Brent Cool almost smacks the wall there. Was able to stay off it. And because of that, he did lose a lot of momentum. And the 25 of Roger Buff does take advantage of that and takes back the 9th place spot here on lap number 59 with 86 laps remaining. And in front of Roger Buff is going to be the 77 of Jacob Bell, trying to make up as much time as he can. He's currently showing in the 8th place spot. His next victim in line, 65 of Marty Ray. And Dave, everybody pretty much in the field for the most part has gone single file. And at this point, they now have about 16 laps remaining, Dave. So it makes me... Oh, we have one driver in the wall. They're entering turn 1. They're trying to catch a number. It's going to be the 19 of Andy Starcher. He does stay high, lets everybody by, but loses 4 spots because of that. No harm was done. He's getting up to speed as we speak. And he now has some right side damage because of that, similar to the 48 of Curtis Vollmer. But he is going to be trying his best to counter it the best he can with the use of that draft. Like I was saying, Dave, now these drivers have 17 laps on their tires. So it's only a matter of time before we start seeing some green flag pit stops.
Yeah, I figure we'll start seeing them within probably about the next 15 to 20 laps here. We should probably see maybe some green flag pit stops here, as we are now just completing lap 61 of 144, 83 laps remaining here in the Toyota Tundra 250 at Kansas Speedway.
Oh, David, one driving the grass, 25 of Roger Buff. He was able to somehow keep traction in the grass there and not wreck it. Very, very nice save on his part there, but he's lost a lot of spots, lost a lot of time, all his speed, all his momentum. So he has to back it up and do it all over again, and by the looks of it, he does seem to have some damage on the right side of that hood of that machine, and is now almost back up to speed here behind him is 71 of Chris Stoneman, who had to slow down to avoid getting to the back of him, but definitely a nice save. And Dave, up front, the 2 leaders, the 57 of Hunter McDaniel and the 6 of Tom Wetmore, the gap in between them has getting nothing but higher. It looks a bit Hunter McDaniel has pretty much just backed off and stopped trying to battle the 6 of Tom Wetmore here. Most likely just pretty much, maybe David tires have finally kicked in.
Yeah, as we saw in the K&N series, tires are definitely key here. Bunch of drivers here did run the K&N series last night, so they've got that little extra track time here at Kansas, that little extra experience, and it looks like it's paying out here as the 97 of Garrett Robinson currently running in 3rd position, and the 57 of Hunter McDaniel both ran in the K&N series last night.
Oh, absolutely. That track time definitely does make a difference, and these 2 drivers just overtook the 12 of Damian Crump, putting him 1 lap down here on lap number 65. And right now, Damian Crump hoping for a caution because he is in line for the Lucky Dog. If a caution were to come out, he's battling the 51 of Johnny Dressler and the 43, actually only the 51 of Johnny Dressler for the Lucky Dog, and 43 of Tyler Davis being shown 3 laps down, and Tyler Davis still going nice and strong on the racing surface with a brand new truck. Not a single scratch on that machine here in the 26th place spot, 3 laps down, hoping for some cautions so he can be able to get all his laps back and battling with the leaders, because before he was 3 laps down, he was battling side by side, racing very, very hard with those leaders up there. So just pretty much hoping for a caution just so he can be able to do that all over again and it count for a purpose. And going further back in the pack, actually up ahead in the pack. We 65 Marty Ray and 50 Mitten make contact. They go sideways off the right side off turn 4 in the grass. They're gonna be on their lids. Nope. They're wrecking off the track in the grass. 65 Marty Ray, 50 of Scott Mitten. Not sure exactly what happened on the exit of turn 4, but Dale, I'm not sure if we can catch that on replay.
Well, we will try to see if we can catch it there, Sean, as we are going to pull up the Dre broadcast and replay here, focusing on the 65 of Marty Ray to see if we can see exactly what happened. They were side by side, as it looks like the 50 of Scott Mitten gets a little loose, comes down into the 65, and they just go spinning around there in the grass.
Yeah, that was very, very unfortunate, but very, very nice save by both drivers. Unfortunately enough, none of them were, they were not able to, they didn't slide down pit road, so they won't be penalized for that. So they will still stay on the lead lap here with 50 of Scott Mitten right now, trying to make up as much time as he can. 65 Marty Ray doing the exact same thing. And both drivers do now have some damage from the contact made there. But going back up front, the gap between 6 of Wetmore and Hunter McDaniel does get nothing but higher. Last time I checked, it was about 0.3 seconds, but now it's over a second and increasing.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching the halfway point of tonight's race. So let's hear it out in the chat. Who do you think is going to be the winner of tonight's race? Who has got what it takes to lead this field here for the checkered flag tonight? So make sure you let us know who you're rooting on and who you think is going to win tonight's race here for the Toyota Tundra 250 at Kansas Speedway.
Just like Joe White had pointed out last night, day for the broadcasters, I ended up picking the 11 of Ken Ladd, and that did not work out. So tonight I will keep my mouth shut. I'm not going to pick any driver. I'm not going to wish them any bad luck. I'm going back to the track here. The 33 of Vernon Markheim being overtaken by the 12 of Damian Crump. That is not for position, but he overtakes the 12 of Damian Crump on the exit of turn 4. And Vernon Markheim being shown at 5th place spot. And these guys now have 27 laps on their tires. So here in the next 5 to 10 laps, pit stops just might take place.
Yeah, it looks like these guys have settled down here as we're going to pull up our mid-race report here. We have had 4 cautions tonight, 5 lead changes. We are currently being led by the 6th of Tom Wetmore. Now, the fastest lap of the evening was actually put down by the 86 of Adam Eisenhower with a 30.118.
Yeah, very, very great, very great time by the 86 of Adam Eisenhower. Speaking of Adam Eisenhower, right now being shown a 4th place spot, just pretty much having a Sunday drive. Just content with riding so far. He does have his next victim is about 3 seconds ahead of him, and that's going to be the 97 of Gary Robinson for the 3rd place spot. At the same time, he has the 33 of Vernon Markheim in his draft, who can pull him in at any time. So he does have a problem, or he does have something to keep on in mind, as being the 33 of Vernon Markheim on his rear end like that, or approaching him. And further back in the pack, Dave 29, Matthew Rosenbach trying to overtake the 39 of Zachary Crazer for the 10th place spot. At the same time, Brent Coe just lost a spot to the 75 of Rusty Farrell for the 8th place spot. And right now, Brent does seem to be losing, falling off the pace quite a bit there. He just lost a lot of time on the exit of 4. And there we have some drivers going down to pit road for some green flag pit stops. Adam Eisenhower, Vernon Markheim. We also have Michael Knight, Marty Ray, James Peterson, and Scott Mitten.
Yep, this is going to start our green flag pit stops here with 30 laps on their tires. Also, it looks like the 43 is going to make his way down on the pit road as well. So we have already started our cycle of green flag pit stops. The question is when will the leaders come in?
In 77, Jacob Bell goes down a pit road, and Dave, this is most likely guaranteed 4 tires and a full tank of gas.
Yeah, it seems tires are key here at Kansas, as we are now more than halfway. We are 70 laps to go here till we will see the checkered flag to see who is going to take it here. As taking a look at the chat, it looks like Nick Wall is rooting on Curtis Balmer. So he is wanting Curtis Balmer to get up here. So we will take a look at him. He is currently riding back in 13th position. Or, hold on, that just changed here. Is green flags. He is up into 6th position as he is passing some more traffic as we have a whole line of cars down on pit road.
And the leader 6 of Wetmore heads down to pit road as we speak, downshifting that sucker from 160 plus down to pit speed 45 miles an hour. He does make it, and that's going to pass the race lead over to the 75 of Rusty Farrell. And I do have a feeling Rusty Farrell is going to be pitting in here in the next 1 to 2 laps. He now has 33 laps on his tires. And let's actually right on the in car with 75 Rusty Farrell, just so we can watch him pit in. Yep, that he is pitting in as we speak here. That speed is going nothing but lower down from 160 plus to 45. Oh, very, very nicely done, Dave. That was a successful pit entrance. And that now gives the race lead over to 39 of Zachary Kraser. And Zach getting freight trained by everybody who's on newer tires. So this most likely is going to influence him to pit in this time or next time.
Yeah, we've only got 3 cars left to pit. That is the 39 of Zachary Kraser, the 48 of Curtis Palmer, and the 25 of Roger Buff. Is Zachary Kraser is backing it down here, getting down onto pit road.
And Curtis Vollmer does follow him right behind him. 25, Roger Buff next in line. And Roger Buff does take over the race lead here on lap number 79. And that now leaves us with nine drivers on the lead lap. And the last truck on the lead lap is the 86 of Adam Eisenhower. But that will all cycle out once everybody is on pit road. And 25, Roger Buff now with 35 laps on his tires. Is he going to be pitting in this time? Nope, his speed increases on the exit of turn 4. He will be going around for one more lap, and that's going to give him 36 laps on his tires.
Yeah, I don't know about this because taking a look here, it does look like the 6 of Tom Wetmore is back on the lead lap, currently running in 4th position. He is gaining on him every lap, so I think that 25 is going to need to pit here. Also the 57 of Hunter McDaniel back on the lead lap as well.
Yep, and Roger Buff's speed entering turn 3 is increasing once again, so he is going around one more lap. So we only have 2 more drivers left to pit in, namely Roger Buff, and also that's going to be Johnny Dress on the 51, who now has 34 laps on his tires, 3 laps less than the leader 25 of Roger Buff. And yep, that lap, the 6 of Wetmore just gained 2 seconds on the 25 of Roger Buff. So yep, the longer he stays out, the more time he'll lose, and the most likely he'll be going a lap or 2 down, because this track is very fast. And as we speak right now, he is downshifting that sucker, going down to pit road this time by. And that just leaves us with one more driver left to pit. And actually, John Justin just pitted in. So everybody at this point has now pitted in. And the driver who stayed out the longest was Roger Buff with 37 laps on his tires.
Yeah, so it looks like we are going to have at least one more pit stop. If this stays green, we are going to have at least one more round of green flag pit stops. The question is, who's going to push it on fuel mileage here with just 63 laps remaining?
And unfortunately, we have had one driver retiring early for the 9th. That's going to be the 43 of Tyler Davis. We definitely do look forward to seeing him back up for the next race for round 4 for the online Sim Racing Network 144 at Charlotte Motor Speedway for round 4. And that will be on June 13th after next week, because we are off next week due to iRacing maintenance on the servers. But going back to the race here, Dave, we do have a new leader once again. 6 of Wetmore takes back the race lead. And the 57 Hunter McDaniel is going to be 2 seconds behind him. Well, this is now lap number 83. Lap number 84 for the leader here, with now 61 laps remaining Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will take another commercial break of tonight's race so you guys can get your second round of popcorn and refreshments, and so we can thank our sponsors. We'll be right back, so stay tuned.
Don't let your first date be your last. Visit People Against Distracted Driving at PADD.org.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Toyota Tundra 250, part of round 3 of the Xtreme Motorsports Camping World Track Series here with the Xtreme Motorsports 99. Well, going back to the race, Dave, since we had those green flag pit stops, this field has been spread out a lot. And the 6 of Wetmore, as we speak, is battling some lap traffic just over 271 of Chris Thorman. His next victim, the 05 of Tommy Amasi, but Tommy gonna put in a hard fight. Try not to go a lap down because he's now the last truck on the lead lap. and 6 of Wetmore approaching at a very, very fast rate. At the same time, for the next in line with 48 of Curtis Vollmer and 65 of Marty Ray.
Well, Sean, we got 51 laps remaining here. Our leaders are right about 18 laps on their tires. So doing the math, we saw Roger Buff go 35 laps. Looks like that's going to be right about 17 more laps. That may put us in just to be able to make us on a one more pit stop.
Oh, absolutely. And something tells me we're going to have some very different strategies the next and final green flag pit stop to come. Some drivers will run the tanks dry, and some drivers will end up going down pit road as soon as the pit window opens up. So it will be very interesting to find. Oh, let's see the Wetmore almost makes contact with 65. Marty Ray, he checks up, and that stacks up to the field behind him. 48 of Verman did back off to avoid getting into it. And that 05, Tommy Massa going to try and freight train them on the inside line. He's going to try and get his lap back the hard way.
Yeah, that is going to let the 57 of Hunter McDaniel. He was running about 4.6 seconds behind the 6 of Tom Wetmore. He has now closed it up to 3.7 here, as these guys are pretty well lapped out here, with the 97 of Garrett Robinson showing right about 12 seconds behind the leader.
And Hunter McDaniel has sustained some right side damage on the hood of that machine. So he most likely did smack that wall, scrape that wall a little bit there. Because last time I checked, that was I think 2-3 laps ago. He was about 2.4 seconds behind the leader, Tom Wetmore. But then went to 4 seconds behind Tom Wetmore. Now 3.5 seconds from that era there. I mean, from the checkup that happened, like what I'd been talking about. But right now he's just trying his best to make up as much time as he can. He's now being shown 3.5, 3.4 seconds. Just keeps going nothing but lower. Now about 3.3 seconds. In the turns he is gaining time, but on the straightaways he is losing a lot of time. So that damage definitely is affecting the top speed. And at this point, Dave, the last car or the last truck on the lead lap is the 19 of Andy Starcher. In the 15th place spot, being shown 2 seconds behind the 64 of Michael Knight, who is next in line for position. That's going to be 14th place spot, and unfortunately we have lost one more driver tonight, 51 of Johnny Dressler. We do look forward to seeing him in the 45 of Johnny Dressler, the 43 of Tyler Davis next week, for the Online Sim Racing Network 144 Charlotte Motor Speedway for round 4.
Yes, these guys are now on lap 99, 46 laps remaining here in the Toyota Tundra 250 here at Kansas Speedway, Xtreme Motorsports 99.com, Camping World Truck Series here. So, as we said, we have Nick Wall out there giving a shout out to Samson Motorsports. That's going to be the 48 of Curtis Vollmer, who is currently running back in 18th position, 1 lap down.
And Dave, I'm currently keeping my eye on the 11 of Ken Ladd. He has come a long way. He was further back in the pack. He came from 19th place to 7th place and trying to challenge the 86 of Adam Eisenhower. And that's going to be a battle for the 6th place position. 86 of Adam Eisenhower is riding a groove higher than the 11 of Ken Ladd, who was riding a groove lower there. And that did seem to help them maintain the same exact pace. As the 11 of Ken Ladd is trying to peek to the inside, they see Adam Eisenhower still occupying the outside line, most likely feeling the pressure at this point. Ken Ladd going to go to the inside, going to go down to the apron. Nope, he stays above that white line, but occupies the inside of the 86 of Adam Eisenhower as a battle for 6th place.
Well, going back up here to the 57 of Hunter McDaniel. Looks like Tom Wetmore has opened that gap out. He is now 5 seconds ahead of the 57 of Hunter McDaniel, and Garrett Robinson is right about 11 seconds behind our leader.
Yeah, that gap is going nothing but higher. It's now up to 5.3 seconds, 5.2, 5.3 seconds. It just keeps changing, going back and forth. And Hunter right now is using the driver of the 05 of Tommy Massa. So if he's lucky enough, it just might help him stabilize that machine and increase that straightaway speed, and hopefully run down the leader, the 6 of Tom Wetmore. And speaking of Tom Whitmore, right now he does have some clean air. He's coming out some more lap traffic. He has inside 6-4 Michael Knight, 4 of Brent Kuo, 7 of Brian Wasserman. Brian Wasserman, I haven't spoken much of him tonight. He is a 72 of he's a 72 car in the K&N series, but he's a 7 truck here in the Camping World Truck Series. And Brian Wasserman overtaking the 14 of Vern Bradley. That's for position number 11. And so now he's trying his best to just keep the leader as far away as possible to avoid going a lap down.
Yeah, most definitely here we are now counting down. Sean, I'm telling you, I think this is going to come to fuel mileage. Fuel mileage is going to be key here as we are 41 laps to go here at Kansas Speedway as the 6 of Tom Wetmore just gets around the 64 of Michael Knight, and now looking to the outside of the 4 of Brent Kuo.
Yeah, at this point, looking at Tom Wetmore's... Oh, the caution will fly on lap number 104. We'll back up and see who might have been involved. Oh, 86 of Adam Eisenhower got a piece of the action there. Let's back it and focus on the 86 of Adam Eisenhower on replay.
Well, as we see the 86 of Adam Eisenhower, makes contact with the wall coming out of 2. That is going to send him hard into the inside wall. Looks like that is going to be the only real truck there involved there. But good job by Adam Eisenhower. But that is going to bring out our 5th caution of the night.
Yeah, and Dave, I had noticed a lot of trucks were pushing very much. A couple of laps back there, we did have Brian Wasserman pushing very hard and almost smacked the wall and had to let off, which did back him down to about 130 miles an hour, which was about 30 to 40 laps. 30 to 40 miles an hour slower than everybody else out there, and which did check up the field behind him. And shortly after that, Adam Eisenhower did smack the wall. He did push up there. He had no choice, nothing he could do there. He had no control after that. But going back up front, the 6 of Wetmore still in the lead. Hunter McDaniel 2nd, Gary Robinson 3rd, 33 Vernon Markheim 4th, Matthew Weldon back 5th, and that does run up the top 5. And everybody at this point is going down to pit road for some pit stops. And Dave, this gives us 38 laps remaining in tonight's race. And the 25 of Roger Buff did go 37 laps on his tires the last green flag round that we had. So with that said, Dave, they just might be able to make it without pitting in after this.
It's going to be close there, Sean. We're looking right about 36 laps to go when we go back green flag racing. I think some of these drivers may have to conserve fuel, as we see the 6 of Tom Wetmore did beat the 57 of Hunter McDaniel off pit road.
Absolutely, and right behind the pace car right now, we have the 19 of Andy Starcher, 65 Marty Ray, 71 Chris Thorman, 05 Tommy Amasi, 25 of Roger Buff, 48 Curtis Vollmer, 50 of Scott Mitten, 58 of James Peterson, the 12 of Damian Crump. All these guys behind the pace car, hoping to get one lap back once we go 1 to green. But the bad thing about that is that they won't have a chance to go down a pit road for some pit stops and being on the exact same strategy as everybody else. So most of them do head down a pit road to pit in. But we do have 2 drivers of the 6 drivers I talked about, actually 7 to 8 drivers, and staying out. There's going to be 25 Roger Buff being one of them, and it's 48 of Curtis Vollmer. And looking at 25 Roger Buff and 48 of Vollmer, both drivers have over 25 laps on their tires. And they'll be getting the 1 lap back once the lights on the pace car do turn off the next lap around. So that's going to make things very, very interesting. They'll be at a very, very big disadvantage. And they'll be having to pit in one more time. And if they do pit in, they're vulnerable to going 1 or 2 laps down, because this track is very, very fast once again.
Well, I tell you, the one person that did not want to see that caution is the 6 of Tom Wetmore. He had a really good gap over the 57 of Hunter McDaniel, but this is going to bunch him up here. We are going to have 14, 15, 16 trucks on the lead lap on this restart here, as they are now coming into turn number 3 and 4. I do believe they're going to be getting the 1 to green this time by.
Yep, and that's going to wave run 25 of Roger Buff and 48 of Curtis Vollmer being the first two trucks a lap down. Going to be back on the lead lap on lap number 108, actually 109, once they get the wave around the pace car. Let's see if the lights turn off on the pace car this time. Fingers crossed. Yep, the lights on the pace car do finally turn off, and the two drivers do get the wave around the pace car. We are now back 1 to green here on lap number 109. Once we go green, it's gonna be, we'll have 35 laps remaining on lap number 110. And these guys had pitted in, and just like you had said, it's gonna be very, very close on gas. So most likely we'll see some drivers backing off, Dave, and trying to save some gas, at least 1 or 2 laps.
Yeah, most definitely, but we did see the 25 of Roger Buff go 37 laps, so we know it's possible. But what we're going to see here is the 6 of Tom Wetmore is electing to stay on the inside. Hunter McDaniel on the outside. Garrett Robertson, Zachary Kraser on the second lane there. As actually, no, that's going to be Garrett Robertson and Matthew Wasselback in the second row, as the pace car is now bringing them through turns 3 and 4.
If they are getting bunched up nice and tight, 6 of Wetmore has been known to jump the start. Let's see if these guys have caught on to it. And the pace car does leave the surface, racing surface. The 6 of Wetmore still holding pace speed. He puts it down the floor, but they do see it coming. Well, most of them, 57 of Hunter McDaniel, 97 of Gary Robinson, cost even quite a bit. 29 was back trying to help the 57 of McDaniel, who then goes down low to block the 97 of Gary Robinson. While behind them, they do have a 39 of Zach Kraser. 29 of Rosenbach dumped on the outside line, getting freight trained as we speak here, trying to catch a break behind the 57 of Hunter McDaniel, the 97 of Garrett Robinson here before turn 3. He tries to look to the inside of the 97 of Garrett Robinson. He does so successfully. That's going to keep him side by side here before entering turn number 4. Let's see who just might have it. 29 of Rosenbach lead the slide nose across the start finish line. That bumps him up to the 4th place spot. 97 of Garrett Robinson down into the 5th place position at the same time. 39 Zach Kraser and 57 Hunter McDaniel nose to tail as we speak, as lead pulls away, but looks of it.
Yeah, Sean, I mean, I'm just kind of worried. We do have the 6 of Tom Wetmore out. He is out in fresh air, but I mean, we are going to be close on fuel as we are now 33 laps remaining here at the Toyota Tundra 250 Xtreme Motorsports 99.com Camping World Truck Series.
Yeah, and Dave, these drivers are most likely hoping for a caution, because that caution will guarantee that these guys will be able to make it all the way, because they will be able to save some gas under caution, or actually burn less gas and maximize the fuel economy, so that once a caution comes out, that will guarantee them making it. But if the caution does not come out, it will be very close. We'll see a lot of drivers backing off here to try and save some gas. And so far we have 29 of Matthew Rosenbach and 39 of Zachary Kraser challenging each other. That's going for the 3rd place spot. 57 Hunter McDaniel on the outside and did drift way high off turn 2. He does get the slingshot and closes 57 of Hunter McDaniel, the 97 of the 39 of Zachary Kraser before turn 3 there. Zach still doing an amazing job on the inside line, trying to still challenge him for the 2nd place spot. And for the back in the pack, we have 77 of Jacob Bell challenging the 4 of Grant Kuhl for the 7th place spot. The 77 of Jacob Bell goes way low on the inside line there, but the 4 of Grant Kuhl just might have a slingshot off turn 4, and yes, he does. And finally clears him there on the back stretch here before turn 3. And the next driver in line, the next victim in line for Brent is the 11 of Ken Ladd. Awesome contact from 39 of Zachary Kraser there, and also the 97 of Garrett Robinson. And that does affect the 39 of Zachary Kraser negatively. He did lose all his momentum, all his speed there, and has the 11 of Ken Ladd now looking to his outside line with the help of the 4 of Brent.
Yeah, but looking here, we are 30 laps remaining. We've got a lot of guys running too wide. The question is, will they make it on fuel, pushing this hard? Because it does, I tell you what, Sean, it does not look like these guys are backing down at all.
Oh, absolutely, Dave. They are going for it, trying to be in the best position. If a caution comes out, well, I'm sure if a caution comes out, these reps now have 10 laps on their tires and increasing. And they have one more driver on pit road, 48 of Curtis Fulmer. Well, Dave, maybe Curtis is going down the pit road just to make sure he's safe for the rest of the way.
Well, we did see Curtis Fulmer there stay out and get the lucky dog, so he was on older tires, but so he is coming down to get some fuel and tires. But I tell you what, that's kind of smart, because if these guys run out in front of me, is we have got trucks in the wall here tightening this field up, but we are going to stay green flag racing.
And we do have some more battles going on between. That's going to be the 29 of Welsenbach trying to set up a 57 on Hunter McDaniel for the second place spot. But since these guys have been battling, the leader, the 6 of Wetmore, has been pulling away every single lap. And now is being shown 1 second ahead of them. And that seems to be increasing. Oh, we have some more contact here. I heard a driver in the wall on the exit of turn 2. Can't quite catch a number on that machine. I think it was a 97 of Garrett Robinson there. For his bump, drafting the crap out of the 29 of Welsenbach on the straightaway, keeping him up with the 57 of McDaniel.
Yeah, but look who's right there behind Garrett Robertson. The 14 of Vern Bradley. As we see him go, as Vern there started in 15th, now up to 5th, but we had seen him drop all the way to the back of the field, and here he is here back in the top 5 with just 26 laps remaining.
Yeah, and speaking of Vern Bradley, Dave, an interesting fact about him in tonight's race, he did have damage all race long, ever since the first or second caution, and just now got it fixed the last caution there, and now has a brand new machine and spanking these guys, trying to take back as many spots as he can. Like you have said, he's gone from 15th place to 5th place, gaining 10 spots this far. His next victim in line, the 97 of Garrett Robinson. He's trying to apply pressure, but Garrett trying to block there to defend his position while trying to overtake the 29 of Matthew Welsenbach. And Dave, they have now caught the leader, the 6 of Wetmore. Last I checked, they were 1 second behind, but now it's down to 0.5, which is less than half a second. Half a second.
Yeah, taking a look here at the 6. We're going to kind of ride in here to see if he is in conservation mode, as we are going to go here in cam with him, see if maybe he's trying to save a little fuel here, as they have caught him pretty quickly here.
You can hear him lift there in the turns, but on the exit there he is powering off and just going pretty much wide open. And it does seem as though they did gain some more time that last lap, from 0.5 seconds to 0.3 seconds as we speak, and decreasing that 57 Hunter McDaniel. The 29 Welsenbach, 14 Vern Bradley, hungry for that lead. Oh, and there we have some trouble on the track. 97 of Gary Robinson slow on the track here, back in the 11th place spot, getting back up to speed with some damage on that machine. Looks like he just might have smacked the wall. That front end not looking too pretty whatsoever, but he will stay high to let everybody by. He is being shown about 20 miles per hour slower than everybody else, which is a very big disadvantage at a track like this, Kansas Speedway. And everybody just pretty much getting around him as though he's sitting still. Hopefully he has a backup truck in the pits that's waiting for him, so he can be able to still stay competitive. But if he does go down pit road, he will lose a lot of time, and most likely will be going a lap or more down. As we speak, he's now being shot in the 13th place spot and dropping.
Yeah, truck just is not having the top speed that it did. It's topping out about 163 mile an hour. Compared to the other drivers doing about 183 to 186.
And there for the back in the pack, the driver in line for the Lucky Dog, 65 Marty Ray here behind the 4 of Brain Cool, trying to make up as much time, trying to make sure he's as close to the leaders as possible here before the caution were to come out. Just trying to get the Lucky Dog, trying to hold off the 19 of Andy Starch, and Andy Starch as well trying to battle him, actually trying to catch him. because he is the next driver in line as well behind 65 of Marty Ray, and they are about 2 seconds apart. And they do have each other in sight. So that 19 of Andy Starcher is determined, and that's all the motivation he needs to get around the 65 of Marty Ray for that lucky dog. And the 12 of Cramp will challenge him. Oh, actually, 12 of Cramp as well is battling the 19 of Andy Starcher for the lucky dog. At the same time, trying to catch the 65 Marty. They make contact. 19 of Andy Starcher goes sideways off turn 4. 12 of Damian Cramp backs off him to give him room to save it, and he will save it successfully. Holy cow, the green flag will stay out here on lap number 126. Very nice save by the 19 of Andy Starcher and the 12 of Damian Crump. That does put a big smile on 65 of Marty Ray.
Well, I tell you what, I don't know if it puts a big smile. I mean, he's in position, but the way these guys are going, I don't know if we're going to have any more cautions here. As it looks like the 57 of Hunter McDaniel has caught Tom Wetmore. Is taking a look here. He is only 1/10 of a second behind, so I think these guys may be in fuel saving mode.
Oh, and look at that. The caution does fly here on lap 127 or lap 128. Are going to see who might have been involved in that. That's going to make a lot of drivers happy. You only had 14 drivers on the lead lap. That's going to make a lot of drivers happy because they will get a chance to get the lucky dog in their laps back. Going to see what was involved in that. Dave, I can't find anything. Are you seeing anything?
Yeah, it looks like it is going to be the 97 of Garrett Robertson coming out of the turn. He has just completely lost it all by himself, but that is going to spin him completely around on the racetrack, which will cause a result in the caution. Yeah, because going back to the replay, he was dirt tracking it here, coming out of turn. Oh, he hit the apron coming out of turn number 2, send him up into the outside wall, and that is going to bring our 6th caution of the night.
Very unfortunate for Garrett Robinson, and hopefully he does have a backup truck in the pits waiting for him so he can be able to be back competitive with these guys. But he is being shown a lap down. He's being shown the first truck a lap down. But Dave, since he was involved in the incident that brought this caution, that most likely does void his chance for that lucky dog. So that just will give it to the next driver in line. Yes, it will. 65 Marty Ray gets that lucky dog back on the lead lap here on lap number 130, and everybody else does go down to pit road to get their final pit stops in to secure themselves the finish.
Yes, it looks like everybody on the lead lap is going to go down pit road, top off with fuel and tires. And it is going to be the 6 of Tom Wetmore, the 57 of McDaniel coming out in second, with it looked like Walzenbach coming out third off of pit road.
Yeah, that was quite a fight. The fight between 29 Walzenbach and 57 Hunter McDaniel on the race off of pit road. Unfortunately, 29 Walzenbach lost by a nose hair there. Yeah, but going back up from behind the pacer, we have a lot of drivers trying to get their laps back. We have Curtis Vollmer, Garrett Robinson, Tommy Amasi, James Peterson, Chris Storman, Damian Crump, Scott Mitten, 25 Roger Buff, and those drivers all trying to get their laps back. Roger Buff being shown 3 laps down, James Peterson being shown 2 laps down, and everybody else on that list is being shown 1 lap down, namely once again 48 Vollmer, the 5 Gary Woobot, 19 of Andy Starcher, 50 of Scott Mitten, 05 Tommy Massey, and the 97 of Garrett Robinson. And Garrett Robinson right now headed down a pit road to get some damage fixed. Well, Dave, I'm not sure if this is a glitch, but looking at the 97 of Garrett Robinson, he just went down a pit road there for about 2 seconds, and I think he might have used up his gotten his backup truck. Am I seeing that right?
Let me take a look here. The 97. Can't find it. He may have just went down and got the backup truck there, and hopefully it gives him a full tank of fuel and some tires. So, I mean, that's definitely possible there. Try to keep him here on the lead lap.
Absolutely. Just wanted to get a double check there because it did seem as though it might have glitched there. So I thought I was seeing some false false stuff on the iRacing side.
Actually, he did pit stop. His pit stop was 13.3 seconds.
Oh, 10-4. Thanks for confirming that. So he did end up getting his backup truck. He did have one there. His only one. He still had it. Very, very great driving on his part all night long tonight. And being able to stay in it to win it here with a brand new machine on lap number 130 on his side. And lap 132 now for the leaders. And everybody gets the wave around the pace car. And we are now back 1 to green. That's 6 of Wetmore in the lead with the help of the 29 who was back on his rear end. 57 Hunter McDaniel on the outside, the help of 14. Vern Bradley. And once we go green day, it's going to be 12 laps to go. It is go time.
Yeah, most definitely here. We're going to have 12 laps to go. And also from, I got an in-race report that the 6 of Tom Wetmore, at that last restart, he was actually 3 laps short on fuel. So I think a lot of these drivers are happy for that caution, but we are going to have a shootout here for the checkered flag for the Toyota Tundra 250 here at XtremeMotorsports99.com.
Oh man, and at this point we now have 16 drivers on the lead lap, and so we have a lot of drivers hungry for that lead. The 29 wasn't back trying to take it off from 6 of Wetmore and the 57 Hunter McDaniel, 14 of Vern Bradley, who was for the back in the pack and had damage for more than half the race tonight. Back with a brand new truck once again, battling here for the race lead with these guys up here. The pace car does dip off. The 6 of Wetmore still holding pace speed. He puts it down the floor. He does catch him off guard. 29 wasn't back, sees it coming, overtakes the 57 Hunter McDaniel. He will start finishing for second place. Hunter McDaniel there misses the shift and just might pay the price. Nope, he blocks 11 of Ken Ladd on the inside line, 14 of Vern Bradley on the outside, freight trained. And Vern Bradley does seem to have sustained some damage on the front end of that machine on this restart, so he just most likely rear-ended somebody due to difference in reaction there on the green flag. Once the green flag had flown, and the 77 of Jacob Bell on the inside, 14 of Vern Bradley behind the 11 of Ken Ladd trying to take it away from him, and the 7 of Brian Wasserman in the mix as well.
Yeah, most definitely is we are now 10 laps or 11 laps remaining here. Looks like Tom Wetmore and Matthew Wasselback are pulling out. They are happy to see as the 57 of Hunter McDaniel is in a battle here with the 11 of Ken Ladd. No, he is going to take third position. Is the 14 of Vern Bradley is up into the wall.
Oh man, some contact up front in the 33 of Vern Magheim. The 4 Brent Cole's got spun around. He goes high for some heavy damage, some heavy smoke from his rear end. 65 Marty Ray involved in that. And also the 86 of Eisenhower. Let's focus on the 4 of Brent Cool on replay.
Well, as we are going to go back to our replay here to see if we can see exactly what happened. Focusing on the 14 of Vern Bradley. On the wall, makes contact with the 7, Vern Markheim involved. The 4, Brent Cole, was hit from behind by the 75. He had nowhere to go, and he is, I tell you what, the 4 is smoking heavenly. As we are going to take another look at this from the blimp view here, see it from up top. The 14 of Bradley into the wall, makes contact with the 7, 7 into the 33. The 4 rear ends the 7, the 75 rear ends the 4. Around they go. The 86 of Eisenhower and the 65 of Marty Ray also involved in that.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate indeed for every single driver involved. And we have one more driver retiring for the night. That's going to be 33 of Vern Markheim, who did get a bad end of that deal as well. Once again, to look forward to seeing every single driver back again for the online Sim Racing Network 144 for round 3 here of the Camping World Truck Series of the Xtreme Motorsports 99 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And that 4 of Brent finally makes it down a pit road, but he is sideways. He does have that wheel cranked rightward to keep that truck straight. Hopefully he has a backup truck waiting for him in the pits there, so he can be able to stay competitive and be on the lead lap.
I tell you right now, I think the 29 of Matthew Wasselback did not want to see that caution. That is going to put him on the outside on this restart. The 11 of Ken Ladd will be behind the 6 of Tom Wetmore. Hunter McDaniel will be on the outside there behind Wasselback, because I do not think any of these leaders are going to come down pit road.
Oh no, they will all be staying out. They have 7 laps on their tires. And David, status check on the 4 of Brand Cool. He did have a backup truck waiting for him, so he did use it up. And that machine is back to life, looking very good with a very nice looking paint scheme. The drive for diabetes awareness there on the rear end. And he will be back in the 15th place position. And that's right, Dave Fernandez wasn't back. He's going to be starting on the worst place, possibly the outside line. His best bet is to get a good restart of the 6th of Wetmore, because the last restart he was behind Wetmore and saw it coming. And actually overtook the 57 Hunter McDaniel for the start, finish on the 2nd place spot. But now has a lot more things to worry about, because once we go green, we most likely will have 5 to 6 laps remaining.
Yeah, most definitely it's go time. As IU Dave said there in the chat, it's go time. These drivers know it's go time here. We are currently have 16 trucks on the lead lap. Last truck on the lead lap will be the 64 Michael Knight. So, and take a look at that. It looks like Damian Crump is back on the lead lap as well, sitting there back in 15th position.
Yeah, Damian Crump just now exiting pit road. He does have a little bit of damage on the rear end, but he's now back on the lead lap, just like you had talked about. Very, very nicely done on his part. He hasn't had the best night tonight, but he definitely is still trying. Back on the lead lap after being after being a lap down for more than half the race as well. So it definitely is the very perfect timing on his part, being back on the lead lap, and that truck is now back up to speed. And going back up front, we are now back 1 to green. The 6 of Wetmore on the inside, and behind him is the 11 of Ken Ladd. And on the outside is the 29 of wasn't back in the lead. Leading the outside of the help with 57 of Hunter McDaniel. And these top 3 drivers, these 3 drivers, Hunter McDaniel, 29 of wasn't back, and 6 of Wetmore, have been rivals ever since the drop of the green flag. So Dave, fingers crossed, it's going to be a wild finish.
Yeah, most definitely 6 laps to go as they are double foul here coming through turn number 2. Walsham back on the outside, Wetmore on the inside. Ken Ladd behind Wetmore and the 57 of Hunter McDaniel. But look there, in 5th and 6th place, we have the 77 of Jacob Bell and the 7 of Brian Wasserman. They're in 5th and 6th, so I don't know. It's going to be too close to say who's going to come away with this win, Sean.
Oh, yeah, and don't forget 39 of Zachary Kraser and 75 of Rusty Farrow. These guys know how to get the job done. And unfortunately, we can only have one winner. But here we enter turns number 3 and 4. Going green for the final time. Not yet the final time. But the pace car will be ducking off here. The pace car leaves the racing surface. 6 of Wetmore still holding pace speed. He puts it down. The 29 was back, sees it coming. 11 of Ken Ladd sees it coming. Balanced to the 57 of Hunter McDaniel for the 3rd place spot. He does still maintain it. The 29 wasn't back. Falls in line behind the 6 of Wetmore. Follows his race line here, entering turn 1. And Hunter McDaniel falls in line behind the 11 of Ken Ladd. Jacob Bell behind the Hunter McDaniel. Zachary Kraser trying to play catch up. Brian Wasserman. Oh, it's going to be 3 wide on the exit of turn 2. Had a big check up there. The 50 of Mitchell propels past these guys. Look, they're sitting still. We have some one driving the wall entering turn 3. He goes sideways. It's going to be the 58 of James Peterson, and the caution will fly. And this is the 5 to go mark, so we just might be able to have a 1 to 2 lap shootout. But let's go back and focus on the 58 of James Peterson.
As we pull up the Dre broadcasting replay here, focusing on the 58. Looks like contact between him and the 71 machine. That is also the 97 of Garrett going to get in there. But it doesn't look like James' truck is too damaged as he gets it spun back around and back going straight again.
Yeah, very unfortunate for James Peterson and everybody else who was involved in that. But yeah, definitely a nice save by James. Being able to put the most minimum damage on his truck than it could have been, because he was carrying a lot of speed and the banking was not working in his favor, but he was able to do less damage. And going back up front, we are still being led by the 6 of Wetmore. The 29 wasn't back 2nd, Hunter McDaniel 3rd, Ken Ladd 4th, and Jacob Bell in that 5th place spot. And now that leaves us with 4 laps remaining in tonight's race, and everybody decides to stay out. And the next driver in line for the Lucky Dogs is going to be 5 of Gary Woolbot. And yes, Gary gets the wave around the pace car. He will be back on the lead lap here on lap number 141. And Dave, that now gives us 17 drivers on the lead lap. And now the first truck on the lap down is going to be the 48 of Curtis Vollmer, who is still out there going nice and strong. After having a bad race there for mid-race, he was battling heavily up there with the leaders. But unfortunately, he did smack that wall, which did send him further back in the field. But he now has his brand new truck, his backup truck, and is going nowhere but the front.
Well, I tell you what, Sean, look at this. If we go green, it's going to be Tom Wetmore on the inside, Walson back on the outside. Hunter McDaniel is going to be behind Tom Wetmore. Ken Ladd moved back into the 4th position. He is going to be the 2nd truck on the outside. But we are just waiting to see here as they are now getting ready to cross the start-finish line here. That will give us 3 laps remaining here to see if these guys get double foul.
Oh yeah, and the lights on the pace car do stay on, so we will have one more lap here before we have the 1 to green mark, and this just gives us some time to get a race interview in. Let's focus on one of the heaviest movers tonight, the 4 of Brent Kuhl. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have the 4 of Brent Kuhl up here. That's currently the 12th place spot. Gotta come up there, buddy.
Hey, well, who's that? That sounds like Ivan.
This is Sean up here in the booth, buddy.
Hey, how you doing? We're doing good back here, running 12th with a new set of slicks.
Oh, 10-4, Brent. Man, you have been on the move since the drop of the green flag, starting 7th, currently in the 12th place spot. But you have been battling these guys the best you could, just pretty much spanking them. But how's the race going, buddy? How's it going so far?
I'll tell you what, this has been a really good race. Getting a little loose after 35 laps, but otherwise, I think my strategy is perfectly played out here with brand new tires. Everybody else in front of me is damaged or old tires.
Oh man, that's a lot of that's very, very a good thing for you right there, because you will be able to most likely slingshot past these guys. And with that said, after seeing how your truck's been handling all race long tonight, you think you have what it takes to at least advance your spot before it ends?
Yeah, it's got plenty of laps on it. This ought to get exciting here to see what happens. We'll just keep it clean and go for that checker flag.
Oh, copy. That sounds good, brother. You have been headed the right direction since the drop of the green flag. So good luck to you, buddy, and make us proud.
10-4, check no guess.
And that was the 4 of Brent Kuhl, currently in the 13th place spot. And we are now back 1 to green. And once we go back green, we will have 1 lap to go, Dave. It's going to be the white flag as soon as they cross start finish line. So they'll be getting up to speed and racing at the exact same time.
Yeah, most definitely. 1 lap shootout here for the checker. Tom Wetmore been out front most of the night. Walzenbach's been there. Hunter McDaniel, Ken Ladd, Jacob Bell. It could be just about anybody, so let's see what's going to happen.
Well, Dave, do the honors for the final time.
Pace car comes off, dips down in. The 6 of Tom Wetmore gets hard on that throttle. The 29 of Walzenbach sees it coming, but so did the 57 of McDaniel. Is they are going to be side by side? Nope. Looks like, Walzenbach tried to close the door, just was not able to do it on the 57 machine, as they are bumper to bumper here, coming through turns 1 and 2.
Hunter McDaniel running out of patience right now, trying to put the hammer down. We're trying to find 5th gear before turn 3. The 11 of Ken Ladd approaching him, had a very, very fast race. Just might apply a pressure here, but he backs up entering turn 3. The 57 of Hunter McDaniel, big run on the 29 of Walzenbach on the exit of turn 4. 6 of Wetmore goes high, and the 29 Walzenbach on his inside line. 6 of Wetmore brings this thing home here on lap number 145. Matthew Walzenbach 2nd. The 57 of Hunter McDaniel 3rd. Ken Ladd comes out 4th. And the 77 of Jacob Bell in the 5th place spot. And that does round up our top 5. Holy cow, what a finish. These guys were getting up to speed and racing at the exact same time for that white flag. And as we speak, let's actually run on the in-car with the 6th of Tom Wetmore for his victory lap and his 2nd win in a row after coming with the win last week at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And ladies and gentlemen, we will be interviewing the top 4 drivers: Tom Wetmore, Matthew Walzenbach, Hunter McDaniel, and the 11 of Ken Ladd. So stay tuned. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have our top 4 drivers on Piodas. Tom Wetmore, Matthew Rosenbach, Hunter McDaniel, and the 11 of Ken Ladd. We will start from the bottom to the top with the 11 of Ken Ladd. Got a cop there, Ken?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it, Bruce.
How you doing tonight, buddy?
Smile on my face, hands are shaky. You know, it's like Hunter was reciting, man. It's my palms are sweaty.
10-4. Well, I am glad that you were able to come out in the 4th place, but up starting in the 19th place position, getting a lot of spots overall. And last night in the K&N series, Ken, you had some bad luck, finished about 44 laps down. And tonight, having a better race here, finishing the 4th place spot. How's your experience overall tonight?
It was really good. Last night we had some pit stall issues. Someone miscommunicated. I was supposed to be getting a new car out last night, but didn't listen, didn't get it to the line, so I ended up having to sit there and try to get the car fixed to get even back out there to finish it out, but it didn't work out, so I'm kind of glad on the redemption tonight. Shout out to Maverick Motorsports with Hunter. Tom, I want to say that was a hell of a race. Heck of a race. And Matt, that was a good end of the race as well. That's probably one of the best races I've been in. It really shows what Xtreme's about. And, the only other thing I can shout out to is Cyclops Vapor for letting me run their stuff. And other than that, I mean, just an incredible race. I can't get over it yet.
Well, Ken, we will let you go out there and celebrate after having a redemption. Like you had said, you had a bad race last night due to a pit stop error. And tonight, being able to go from 19th place to 4th place, being the heaviest mover in the top 5 behind the 57 of Hunter McDaniel and ahead of 77 of Jacob Bell. But next race will be racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway. That track should bring the best out of you guys. What should we expect from you there?
Well, I'm just I'm hoping that we get the team all together. Pryor had some things to take care of tonight. He wasn't able to make it out, but hopefully we'll come out and give Tom a run for his money and show him why we came to this league and why we're part of this league. All I can hope for is the best.
Oh, sounds like a plan. That definitely does give us something to look forward to. Once again, brother, congratulations on your success on not having a bad race last night. And hope to see you again on June 13th for round 4. Have a good night.
You too. Thanks, guys.
And that was the 11 of Ken Ladd, but right in front of him is the 57 of Hunter McDaniel, a driver who could not back up for anything, was giving the 6 of Wetmore a run for his money all race long, all night long tonight. Got a go up there, buddy?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
How you doing tonight?
Oh, not too bad. It was definitely a fun one out there. Hope it was a good one to watch.
Oh man, it definitely was a very, very good one to watch. It was interesting to see exactly how you guys handled the inside line not being the best place. Well, the inside seemed to be the best place the first 1 to 2 laps on the new tires, but after that it was just pretty much single file racing on the outside line. How's your experience tonight?
You know, it was a lot of fun out there. There was no question who the best driver out there was and who had the fastest truck. Just tried to get what I could when I could. Because I knew those tires would go away super early, and then it becomes a one-lane track and becomes very difficult to pass. So I knew that if we could keep the track position up front most of the night, then we could hopefully finish towards the end, and we got a good finish out of it. My team was great, helped me along, and I probably wouldn't have been able to finish as high as I did without the help and support of them.
Oh, 10-4, brother. And Hunter, speaking of you battling the 6 of Wetmore during the first green flag run, before the first round of green flag pistols had kicked in, we noticed you were trying to play some mind games on the 6 of Wetmore, but Wetmore was not falling for it. You tried to go to the inside of the exit of 4 to get the shortest way around the track to clear him before turn 1, but you ended up shutting the door a couple of times. Think about the strategy there. Do you think you've done anything differently to better the chances?
Yeah, there's a couple things that I might have I could have changed. I think in I think it was the second run. If I would have saved my tires a little bit better, I think I could have maybe stayed out a little bit longer than I did. Had some trouble entering pit road on one of my green flag pit stops, which definitely cost me a lot of time to the 6 car. But I mean, once those tires go away, it's so difficult to try to pass on that bottom lane without having to do a slide job that we were running so close together that those couple stints that I mean, if I would have pushed it any harder, I was afraid that I would slide up into him. So I did what I could. Hindsight 2020. So I can sit here and talk about what I could have done better all day, but I'm pleased with what me and my team did, and couldn't have asked for a better finish.
Oh, absolutely, Hunter. You did do an amazing job overall tonight. Did the best you can, like you have said. That's all you can do. And in the long run, it did pay off here, going from 4th place, finishing in a 3rd place position, and staying in the top 5 all night long tonight, with the difference in pit strategies compared to everybody else out there, which is a success in my book anytime. Well, but before I let you go, any final words?
I just want to thank my team once again. They really, ever since I came to Xtreme, have really helped me get better as a driver, and couldn't have done it without them. So I really appreciate that, and want to thank my friends that helped me through iRacing, definitely getting my start and getting me to where I am today.
Once again, buddy, congratulate you on your 3rd place finish tonight here at Kansas Speedway, and also want to congratulate you and your team Maverick Motorsports, and look forward to seeing you again for round 4 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Have a good night, buddy.
Thank you very much.
And that was the 57 of Hunter McDaniel, but right in front of him is the 29 of Matthew Wasson, back from Super Speedway himself, finishing 2nd last week at Atlanta Motor Speedway from the Great Clips 200, and finishing 2nd in tonight's race here at Kansas Speedway for the Toyota Tundra 250. Good up there, Matt.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you, buddy?
Pretty good.
Well, Matt, we noticed you started in the 5th place spot tonight, but ended up getting shuffled back in the pack in the mid-run there, but you were able to somehow find your way up to the front at the right time. That's about your race tonight, buddy.
Well, had a good start. I like Kansas. Kansas is a very, very fast, fun speedway, multiple grooves once those tires get worn in. But yeah, had a good start, qualified 5th. Had a little net coding issues that unfortunately plagues iRacing that caused me to get some damage and fall to the back. But took my quick repair and then just was careful and luckily avoided, most of the stuff, used some pit strategy to just keep working my way up. And then, came home 2nd. That's back-to-back 2nd place finishes for me. Happy about that. And, 2 times a bridesmaid. Hopefully I'll get that victory in the Truck Series one of these days.
Oh, absolutely, brother. Man, you did put on a heck of a show, and we are glad to hear that despite everything you went through tonight, going to the back of the pack from the front of the pack, and you were able to go back to the front of the pack and finishing in 2nd place with behind the 6 of Wetmore, like you had done last week at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And actually, with that said, should we expect to see a 2nd place finish again for the next race at Charlotte Motor Speedway, or at least maybe one spot higher?
Well, unfortunately, I'm going to be missing Charlotte. I'm going to a gaming convention, E3, and I will be gone all week. But the following week, I hope to come back and be able to, take one of those victories away from Tom. Him and I have been working together, and as I follow him, I'm getting better, and I find myself, running stronger. Running with Zach Kreiser, Curtis Vollmer, Tom. We've all been kind of working together these past couple weeks and really working out well. And had a hell of a race there with Ken in the 11, Hunter in the 57, Jacob, Rusty. Everyone was running really nice and clean tonight. We had a couple accidents here and there, but it was a really good, fun race. A lot of give and take, a lot of really running that high line and just trying to get under somebody, but everyone was giving room. Got to especially thank Hunter there on that last restart. I probably came down a little on him, and he lifted, and pretty much, so we didn't wreck. So, I do want to give him a shout out for that. But again, I'm happy with 2nd. I'm happy with just finishing the race, and we'll see what happens the rest of the season.
Well, once again, I'll congratulate you on your 2nd place finish, and look forward to seeing you after the Charlotte race, since you'll be missing that one. And the good thing about it is that you do have one drop week here in the Track Series of Extreme Motorsports 99, so it shouldn't affect you too much, if any. And hopefully you can still be able to come back with the same momentum, and the momentum carries over to the next track that you'll be racing for round 5 here at the Extreme Motorsports Camping Road Track Series. Oh, but before I let you go, any final words?
Just guys, thank you for what you do. DRE, Dave, Sean, I've been working with you guys a lot and talking with you, and you cover a lot of good races and great coverage. And then thanks to Rick for putting on Extreme Motorsports, and of course to Nick Hunt and John Houston. Those guys are the admins for the Truck Series, and they're doing a fantastic job up there.
Buddy, congratulations on your second place finish at Kansas Speedway here. Second place finish in this season here, season 8. And also look forward to seeing you again the next race for round 5, since you'll be missing round 4. And have fun at the gaming convention, buddy. And have a good night.
Thank you, guys.
And that was 29 of Matthew Rosenbach. But right in front of him is the man of the night, the man of the hour. He's finishing in the first place, winning a race. The second time in a row, and that's the 6th of Tom Wetmore, the defending champion. Got a cup there, buddy?
I sure do, Sean. How are you doing this evening, man?
Good, how are you?
Ecstatic. I can't believe we won back-to-back races in this Xtreme Motorsports99.com Truck Series. One of the toughest leagues that I've ever ran in. I can't believe to be parked here in Victory Lane 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, absolutely. Tom, you are an amazing driver, so you shouldn't be too surprised about that. But man, that was a heck of a show you guys put on out there. You did an amazing job keeping everybody behind you, giving them the best view of your tail light decals. And also noticed a couple of times that you were shuffled back in the field. I believe 57 of Hunter McDaniel and one other driver, I forget the name, actually 48 of Curtis Vollmer. Both drivers did beat you off pit road under caution that one time, which did make you start in 3rd place, 2nd place in the bottom lane. How did you handle that? Did you see yourself getting around them like you did?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned my pit crew. Unfortunately, they partied really hard last night, still celebrating last week's win. That's how excited they were, and they clearly could not get us off pit road all night tonight. But the thing that made it even more difficult was just how fast trucks like the 48 and the 57 were. Hunter McDaniel was a freaking jet, that Maverick truck on the short run, and we were fortunate we had a bunch of long run speed in this DRE Dre Broadcasting number 6 Silverado, but regardless, like I said, we were fortunate. That's what helped us get by some of those guys. But man, there were some 3 trucks that were really fast on the short run tonight. The 29, 57, and the 48. It made it very, very hectic when we had 1 lap to go, and I saw those trucks in my rearview mirror.
Oh man, when we saw that you guys were gonna have a 1-lap shootout, gonna be getting up to speed and racing at the exact same time for the white flag, for the checkered flag. And you guys being close to each other like that, and after we had seen you guys being so close to each other all night long tonight, and having the fastest pace here in the field, it did give us something to look forward to. But you were able to get a very good start against them with your partner, the 29 of Matthew Rosenbach, coming home in the 1st and 2nd place. And we did notice that, yeah, that first pit stop under caution, they did overtake you, but then the 2nd pit stop under caution, you did end up overtaking them and having an even faster pit stop. So that was definitely a very, very great part on your crew slacking off and then doing an amazing job to cover up for that or make up for that. But Tom, what should we expect to see from you for round 4 at Charlotte?
We can only hope for the best, but as long as the team keeps unloading these fast trucks, I mean, I hope that we can stay up front. But every single week, these guys are getting faster and faster and faster. Welsenbach last week finished 2nd, and this week he's even faster, and next week he's going to be even faster, I'm sure of that. So guys like that are going to be really tough to compete with. Guys like Curtis Vollmer, who unfortunately had some bad luck tonight. I mean, it's just insane to see the quality of drivers that are coming out of this Xtreme Motorsports99.com league, and just fortunate to be a part of it.
Oh, absolutely, brother. And we do wish you the best of luck for round 4, because Charlotte does usually bring out the best out of every single driver. With that said, we most likely will be seeing some 2 wide, some 3 wide, maybe even 4 wide if we're lucky enough on that backstretch, because that backstretch is quite big. But definitely look forward to seeing this momentum carry over. That will give you a 3rd win and 3rd time in a row if you win that one at Charlotte. And you did qualify on the pole, and I want to congratulate you on that again. And before I let you go, but any final words?
Yeah, I just want to take some time to thank my partners again. Want to thank you guys, Dre Broadcast Network. You guys do an outstanding job every Tuesday night putting these broadcasts together. But really fortunate to be able to have you guys on the truck, and even more excited when I get to park it in Victory Lane for you. And also want to thank a new sponsor, not on the truck, but on board always, as that's going to be NKW Financial out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. They're a great financial firm that's spent a lot of time and money investing in my racing. So, again, I want to thank NKW Financial out of Fort Wayne. So, you two guys coming on board is what parks this truck in Victory Lane and even lets us show up. So, again, really appreciate it, and thanks, guys. Have an awesome evening.
Once again, congratulations, and look forward to seeing you again for round 4 at Charlotte Motor Speedway, hopefully for the 3rd win for season number 8, securing your spot here for the upcoming chase later on in this season. Have a good night, buddy. And that was tonight's race winner. Last week's race winner, the 6th of Tom Wetmore, defending champion this season, last season's champion, season 7 champion, and season 8 defending champion once again. Dave, I am speechless. The Toyota Tundra 250 was an amazing success here at Kansas Speedway with the Xtreme Motorsports 99.com series here, the Camping Road Track Series. These guys put on a heck of a show. We saw some green flag pits of some side-by-side racing, some one-groove racing for the long run, but a lot of side-by-side racing in between, and just pretty much a lot more taking than giving. But these guys knew how to get the job done, which did keep us on our toes each and every time.
Yeah, most definitely. Love watching these drivers here in the Truck Series. Every week, you don't know who's going to win. They just keep getting faster and faster. Seeing some great saves, some great wheel work, some awesome green flag pit stops. Just overall great drivers.
Also, like the 11 of Ken lad from last night in the Pro Can-N series. He had a very bad night last night. He talked about the bad incidents on pit road there with him. So he ended up finishing, I believe, 44 to 45 laps down. And Jacob Bell being transferred, advanced from the Pro Can-N series up to the Track Series, and finishing in the top 5 tonight. And after qualifying in second place, very, very nicely done on his part. But definitely a very amazing show once again by the Xtreme Motorsports. It is to be expected that the Xtreme Motorsports, they are an amazing league. And once again, if you guys would like to be a part of this, check them out at xtrememotorsports99.com. Start with the X and delete the first E in Xtreme. That's xtrememotorsports99.com. They do run Road Series on Monday and Pro Can-N Series on Monday nights, Track Series on Tuesday nights, Xfinity Series on Wednesday, and on Thursday nights they run the Cup cars or the Gen 6 cars. So you guys do have unlimited content or limited excitement and action coming to you live every single night, or at least 4 times a week. So you guys can join either series based on your preferences and based on your experience. Because the more experienced you are, the higher you're going to race here at the Xtreme Motorsports, the higher you're going to be placed in. Once again, this was a Toyota Tundra 250, and after next week we're off. The next race is going to be on June 13th for the Online Sim Racing Network 144 at Charlotte Motor Speedway for round number 4. And ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow night the Xtreme Motorsports is running the Xfinity Series, and on Thursday nights they'll be running the Cup cars, and they'll be broadcast live by Joe White with the OSR Network. So check them out at onlinesimracingnetwork.com and also OSR Network on YouTube, or type in the URL youtube.com/OSR Network, and that will be the first channel that pops up. So you guys can check them out there for the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series on Wednesday, tomorrow night, and Thursday night for the Cup cars with Xtreme Motorsports. And the next broadcast will be tomorrow night with the Cyber Racing Association Dirt Series with Dave Everly and Tana Sharp. If you guys would like to see some sideways action at a dirt track, I am Sean Zulu, being joined by Dave Everly. And if you guys liked what you saw tonight, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you guys can get notified every single time we go live, because we do bring you action almost every single night a week. So you guys have unlimited action coming to you live here from Dave Everly and everybody else with different race leagues and different drivers, different machines, and different racing surfaces. I am Sean Zulu once again, and Dave Everly, thanks for watching, and have a good night.